I was at the shop yesterday, and one of my buddies told me that Standard was pretty fun. So I figured, you know what? I haven't played Standard in forever. What the heck? We'll give it a try. So I was kind of looking at what people are playing online and what they're doing, and I didn't want to spend too many wild cards, honestly. But excuse me. But looking at like one of the older standard decks that I had played a couple months ago, I figured like would try something like this. I don't know. There's 21 lands. 10 of the Bugbear seems to be a good addition, and then there's Kami's Flare, which is kind of like a Searing Blaze effect. 3 damage to target creature, planeswalker, and it also deals 2 damage to that permanent's controller if you control a modified creature. So I'm hoping that that'll pan out in a way that works out because Showdown of the Skulls puts counters on things. So I'm kind of hoping that we can get into a spot where we're making we can kind of turn this into a small Searing Blaze effect. So it looks pretty fun. Rolling Vortex for life gain and Shenanigans. Rip Apart's a good removal spell and good at dealing with artifacts and enchantments. Elite Spellbinder is good for looking at the hand, and then Challenger Dress to Kill is a sticky threat. And we have quite a number of 1-drops here, so I don't know. I'm kind of excited to jump in and see what this feels like. I haven't played Standard in forever. Standard ranked best of 3. I don't know. I'm curious to see what Standard feels like. Every time I hear something, it's a lot of Hanada, like Jeskai Hanada. So, but I'm hoping that maybe since I'm such a low level and I'm still in silver, it won't be that bad. Well, I think we're gonna have to mulligan this. I think we can keep this and put this on the bottom. I think we're going to go ahead and get the Spikefield Hazard down here. I want to be able to get Kessig Flame Breather down. Okay. Drawing out of the land is a pretty solid pickup. Level 2. Legendary spells you cast cost 2 less to cast. I am playing Standard, right? God, I hope I clicked on Standard. Because I played against this in Explorer the other night, and they played like 12 spells on turn 2, and it was not pretty. Or like it wasn't turn 2, but it was like turn 3 or turn 4. They played a lot of stuff. Are there pandas in Magic? Gonna be honest, I don't know. There might be. I've never asked that question. Alright, we'll just get as much down as we can here. Probably just throw the Falconwrath Pit Fighter in front of something and then, I don't know, try to kill our opponent with some Thermal Alchemist triggers here. Sacred Fire would be a good draw here. Why do they have +1/+1? Is this part of this card's ability? Legendary creatures you control in the battlefield with an additional 1/1 counter on them. Ah, so they have 1/1 counters. They're not getting +1/+1. Jeez. So we're about to take a billion. This doesn't seem very fair. just looking at what we're trying to accomplish here. I guess we'll say go. Yeah, I'm just going to pack it in here. This is not going well. All right. I will want the rip aparts here for sure. I mean, it feels like they played stuff without paying for it, but I'm not 100% sure on that. Spellbinder seems good. Let's see. Cards that don't seem good. We're gonna get rid of that. That seems pretty medium. Probably cut a couple showdowns. It feels pretty slow. And we'll cut a couple spike field hazards. I don't know. The lore hold command, the lore hold commands can helix something and make a body. So I mean, being able to make a body and helix something seems pretty okay to me. Tough scene. They got rolling fast. Yeah, dude. Like I've only played against that deck in a different format, and honestly, it doesn't feel very different. It still feels very good. Oh, all right, we'll go first. I mean, yeah, we'll keep this. I like that all of our lands come into play untapped here. Hopefully we can hit like a 1-drop here. Like drawing like a Play with Fire or something would be pretty solid. Actually, Rip Apart would be our best draw. Little Sego. Only the... Okay. We'll leave that on top. That seems fine. It's an extra burn spell. What have you been up to this weekend? Went and played cards yesterday at my local shop down the road. And then, honestly, today I'm just kind of hanging out, enjoying a day at home. What have you been up to, man? You had a busy weekend? Heard that Uncle Mark and Kyle have been sick. We'll say go. I'm hoping the Sacred Fire will give us enough padding here to be able to squeeze out. Our Bun's going to attack for 4 here. Juzo XD, thanks for the follow. I appreciate it. Nothing there, a little sick, but doing better. Well, that's good. Yeah, I heard that Kyle went to work, so I was pretty happy to hear that he felt good enough to go to work. Although he said last night he wasn't feeling too hot, so I mean, I guess how good that can be, I guess. All right, I'm pretty sure this is just game here. Yeah, alright, cool. So when we're on the play, we're able to squeak one out, so that's not bad. I mean, we kind of saw the value of having... oh, excuse me. We kind of saw the value of having a lot of... just a lot of the ping creatures that come into play there. I'm still wondering if Spellbinder's good enough. Or if I just want Kami's Flare as an extra kill something effect. No, I mean, I like Falcon Oath Pit Fighter because I didn't really see anything that blocks, or I didn't really see anything with trample the last couple games, so it feels like that might be okay. I mean, we could try to play the whole Showdown of the Scalds controlling role game, but if they have a Bard, like, we're just in bad shape. So, I don't know, let's try it like this and see what happens. I like having 2 of the Kami's Flare in. I'm having a stroke trying to say that, but so I mean, I think this hand's fine. Like, we don't have an answer to the Bard, but to the enchantment on turn 2, but man, their entire deck functions around having that card. Like, if they ever don't have that card on turn 2, the game's just over, right? Like, I just don't Like they're playing 1 to 2 things a turn. Drawing Rip Apart right here would be awesome. Okay, so we play Elite Spellbinder. I think we'd rather take the creature. Like, Arlen is scary, don't get me wrong, but I don't know, like, I'm not super terrified of Arlen, honestly. Depending on what they draw the next couple turns, we might be able to squeak this one out here. Like, I'm not saying anything's guaranteed, but we might be able to squeak this out. How long have you been playing Magic? I started playing Magic in 2015, right when Origins came out, so I've been playing for about 7 years now. Double the power and toughness until end of turn. So I can't throw the Spellbinder in front if they haven't tapped out. Okay, so they just go with the Arlen. Not let my pack fall prey to predator. What a good wolf. Okay. Alright, so I think the best play is to send the Spellbinder at the Arlen. We're dealing with the Arlen here. And then I think we're playing Thermal Alchemist because it has the most upside later in the game. And then we're going to Royal Eruption the Targnar here while we know that while it's a safe play. Because they have to have four mana to do that, so we know it's a safe play. Ben, Juzo, thanks for stopping by today, guys. I appreciate it. Coming by and keeping me company. What does this do? What's the... Whenever you cast a legendary spell... Whoa. Alright, well, we found a good... We picked a good time to draw the Rip Apart here. Let's do this the right way. Activate this. We'll get rid of this. We'll go to attacks. We'll come in for 3 here. And then the Thermal Alchemist can actually just block one of the wolves for free here. So, I mean, it's kind of pretty... it feels like we're in a good spot here. I could be wrong, though. I played in high school, then stopped, but I just recently started playing again. Oh, that's awesome, man. Well, welcome back to the game. I mean, I've played pretty competitively for a few years now, and honestly, most of the time, I just play in some local events. I went to Dallas and played at the Star City Games, like their Open Series or whatever it's called. I played in that back in February, but other than that, it's just been local stuff since then, man. Do you like get out to a lot of F&Ms and stuff like that? Could I win the game here? They're at 9. This is 4, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, okay. I was going to play the other Kessig Flame Breather, Flame Breather, and try to go that way, but we just have lethal on board with the 2 Sacred Fires, so we might as well use that. Alright, cool. Well, we win our first game, despite the first match or the first round of our first match there not going very well. We ended up pulling it together. Hey, I'm a gold now. How about that? The grind continues. Nice recovery from the first round. Yeah, thanks, man. I appreciate it. Yeah, we're definitely playing standard. It's interesting that Bard class deck is good enough in both standard and in and an Explorer. I played against that the other night playing Explorer, and it honestly might not be good enough in Explorer, but it might just be that someone was playing it. Oh yeah, we'll go first. I think this hand's fine. Like it's nothing to write home about, but we're gonna lead on the Spikefield Hazard here to guarantee to give us a better shot to get to our 5 drops here. I know that the Flame Breather can attack for 1 if we're in a right situation, but I think I'd rather have the Alchemist down for an extra trigger. We'll pass. We'll make our opponent blink first here. We're in a pretty decent spot. Okay. Oh yeah, Expressive Iteration only got banned in Pioneer. Or it might have gotten banned in Alchemy too. I don't know. I don't play a ton of Alchemy. I think I need to put that on the bottom. I think we're looking for lands here. Like, I know that that's 3 damage we just passed up on, but... I think I'd rather hold up the Sacred Fire here than play the Flame Breather. I don't think it's worth it to tap out. So... So we have to do that before we do that. Now, we don't have to because we could just pay the 1 that we have left, but... I don't know. Everybody talks about this Sonata deck. It's obviously played quite regularly, so I'm curious to see. I can't remember if this is like is this a combo deck? Like, what is this? I don't know. People complain about it a lot, so it must not be a lot of fun to play against. And if our opponent comes in for 4 here and doesn't have a follow up, we're in a pretty decent position. So. We'll just go ahead and pass here. So we actually don't have to pay extra into the Lorehole command because we have the option of creatures I control get +1/+0 and create a spirit here. Okay. I mean, the game might just be over here. So drawing a land there actually works out. I think they're dead. Because... Oh, no, we actually can't do that. Because... For each target... So our opponent takes 3. Our opponent takes 3. Man, if it said and you gain 3 life, we'd be in a lot better spot here, but that's not the case. I think I'm just forced to attack here. I actually know that O3 wall you're using. I used to use it in blue-red copter build that was terrible. Well, one, I don't think it was terrible. Dude, Thermal Alchemist is legit. I haven't counted, but I'm hopeful this is lethal. Okay. So it's definitely not lethal here. And they're going to go to 2. Yeah, that's unfortunate. Need to look out for that. What is that? Counter target spell unless its controller plays 2. Alright, so it's like the non-artifact version of Revolutionary Rebuff from that standard. No, the build was terrible, not the card. Oh, okay, I'm following now. Wow. All right, you take those where you can get them. Spellbinder seems good. Vortex seems good here. Not really sure. These are probably pretty mid. Showdown the Skulls feels pretty good. In the Festivities seems extremely mid. I don't know. Falcon Wrath Pitfighter could, if we had that on turn 1, could probably get in a couple times. I think on the draw, it's safe to cut some of these. Nice, built different. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. That might have just been pure luck that we got that game, honestly. Like, everyone talks about Hanada like it's the big bad wolf of the format. I like this hand a lot. This feels really solid. I think we can keep this and put the Thermal Alchemist back. Because we have tapped land on 1, Mountain, Vortex, Sundown Pass. Our opponent's also on a mulligan. You know what? I'm going to take a chance here that the Pit Fighter can get in for some points here. Or that maybe we just draw an untapped land. I mean, he might just have an answer to our 2-1 here. And if not, and if he does have an answer, then that's a chance that we took. Alright, he's probably going to have the counter spell here. Counter unless you pay 2, since he didn't have a removal spell here. Jawari Disruption's also really good. Okay. Let's see if you're willing to make this trade. I bet you are, but I'm curious. Okay. And then let's take a look at your hand. See what we got going on here. Much rather take Expressive Iteration. The Dragon's Fire is fine. Like, if he's going to hit me with a Dragon's Fire, that's okay. This card's Fabled the Mirror Breaker. Interesting. Okay. Get this down while we think we can. Please don't have a counter spell. Oh, no. Backbreaking. Alright, I'm not going to lie. Like, I had no respect for that man's counter spell right there, so we might be up a creek here this game. That might have cost me the game. Because he gets to Iteration, put a card in his hand, put a land into play more than likely. Ooh. I'm not going to take any chances that they get to do anything with that. And then I'm just going to hang on to the Spikefield Hazard here. Can be a 6 land if we need it to. Now, keeping the spike field hazard here is... Oh, man. This is looking ugly fast. This game went from being okay to bad in a hurry. I don't think Vortex the answer we're looking for here. Removal spell and the game's over. Dragon's Fire from the hand. Dragon's Fire ends the game right here. Voltage Surge also ends the game right here. Yeah. You know, that game wasn't looking bad there for a minute, but man, that just... We just ended up getting creamed right there towards the end. Went from being a pretty decent game to pretty bad. I don't know if Chandra's what we want here. And if it is, what are we cutting for it? I mean... No, I think we want it the way we have it, because if we have the vampire on turn 1, we're guaranteed some points here. I think this hand's good enough. I think I want the scry here, honestly. I want to guarantee that we can hit our land drops. Okay. Well, we're gonna take this opportunity to get a Rim Carolus. I don't know I don't know what the correct way to pronounce that is, but I want to take the opportunity to get that down. I think getting Spellbinder down here is good because we can take Kanata. Alright, let's make Kanata cost more, and then... I mean, it's not like our turn's bad next turn. Okay. Yeah, no blocks, dude. Question is, are they going to go ahead and play the dragon? They are. Interesting. Talk about a hit. Now, if they don't have something to play here, like a counterspell... What? Oh my gosh, it's one more. I haven't played in so long, I forgot what it did. That was a bad play. That was just a bad play on my part. I just wasn't thinking, and I just made a dumb play. I have no idea what just happened there. There's something I'm missing? Why did that not kill my thing? That was weird. Okay. 5, 6, 7. So our opponent can play Hanada and have 2 resources left. Decides not to do that. Alright. They're trying to set up here. I mean, I get it. Now they have a Hanada they can play. What are you doing here, opponent? That can resolve. All right. So our opponent goes to 4 here, and now we have a 2-1 blocker. No. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like, there was probably a way to play that better. I probably should have killed the dragon instead of the 2-2 there. I think I definitely should have thought about that a little bit longer before I just pulled the trigger on a decision right there. So, definitely just a result of me not thinking through the lines. Now, we may not have had anything. Like, there may not have been anything going on that I could have done there, but I don't think that was the case. Maybe if we kill a dragon. I like this hand. Our opponent mulligans. Black Hoke down. I mean, I assume Black Hawk down was taken, and they couldn't say that. Our hand has a real nice curve here. Yeah, I'm just going to play this and attack for 2. I don't think there's anything they can do at instant speed here for a single white in standard, but playing the Den of the Bugbear there allows us to play Needle Verge Pathway on the white side and then play Rim. Hitting a land right here would be really good because it would allow us to... I mean, just hitting a land here leaves us in a good spot. Playing, like, going... Just running through a solid curve in standard is pretty good. They obviously have a removal spell here of some variety. Giving us a clue, I can live with that. If I attack with the Falconwrath Pitfighter, I probably draw out the... Let's go ahead and activate this. I'd like to hit a land here, even if it's a tap land or something. Well, that's a little unfortunate. I am only playing 21 lands, so to not hit, it's not like it's completely crazy. But, you know, 21 lands is a good number. I think we're playing against Hanada again. We might just be playing against, like, Jeskai control.
I hope you're ready to lose.
Each opponent and each creature and planeswalker they control. Alright, that's cool. So they go to 16 here. After this, we're going to play In the Festivities. More than... Oh, alright. My internet just stopped working or something?
I am almost sad to see you go.
Alright, so we put our opponent to 15. And now we get to hold up. Sorry, I was worried that the audio was too loud coming from the game. I had turned it up the other night when I felt like I couldn't hear anything. Land? Alright, here we go. No counterspell, please. Alright. I'm going to say go here and try to play the Lorehold command. We can Helix, and we can try to make a body here. Interesting. That is interesting indeed. Okay. Well. I guess we'll just say go here. I think the best thing to do would be next turn. Yeah, so we get to put a 1/1 counter on things. So I think what we're going to do... Fire up into the Bugbear. Play Royal Eruption. Attempt to put a counter on Den of the Bugbear. And then we'll try to come in for 5 here. Now, more than likely our opponent has something to thwart our plan, but... Okay. Yeah, and I don't have anything to play here. There's not really any reason to do that. Well, now we're just kind of hoping to draw a creature so we can put some counters on it. Now, they more than likely have like a voltage surge or something like that that deals 2 or 3 here, so we're probably not going to be able to just like blow them out. Yep. And we'll say go here. Let's go ahead and try and get a burn spell in here. I don't know what our opponent's got here. I'm kind of curious to know, honestly. Well, we're now at a place where if we play a Sacred Fire from the graveyard here, we're not going to get beat by Jawari Disruption. We can still hold up a mana here. Huh. That was weird. Wonder why the stream stopped working. Yep, we'll auto pay for that. Alright, so I mean, yeah, not much we can do about 2 Jawari Disruptions there, but... should have waited till the end of their turn to do this, but... I like playing this here more than trying to go for 2 Sacred Fires to end the game. Jeez. We've seen quite a few lands this game. I mean, I guess to be fair, we've also seen half our deck. So, the Showdown of the Scalds, though, they showed a lot of lands last couple times that we've hit. So against Jeskai control, we want Vortex and we want Chandra. In the festivities doesn't feel great. Not really sure what else we're looking to cut here. I like that this has flashback. I don't know. Falcon Rat Pit Fighter. This is probably its best chance. I wonder if cutting something like... I don't know. Let's try it like this and see what happens. I'm not really sure what the correct way to sideboard is here. I think this hand's fine. I think the fact that we have a Vortex makes this okay. Well, considering our opponent does not have a blue source open, we're definitely just going to run out the Vortex and say go. That just feels really good. You know, normally I would have not played. I'd have probably just held up the Sacred Fire there, considering our opponent. I'd have probably just held up the Sacred Fire there if our opponent would have had blue mana, but playing around the Jawari Disruption there. Because them countering Royal Eruption during our turn is a blowout, and them countering if they and they would have tapped out to play the Fable of the Mirror Breaker, but they didn't have an untapped blue source. Ooh, okay. Interesting. Alright. So this is 2 free points here because they're tapped out. Now, our opponent is down to 4 cards here. It's not like our opponent has a lot of cards left. Didn't really know there was a Jeskai control in Standard, honestly. And there might not really be one, but this is just what our opponent has put together or something like that. I'm trying to decide if I want to go upstairs with the Royal Eruption. Or if it's better to play board control. Probably better to play board control. Because if they do have an answer for our Rim Carolus here, Carolus, I have to be saying that wrong. I don't know if someone wants to help me out with how you pronounce the name of that card, Rim Carolus. I don't know, but we then have the Sacred Fire for the answer for the Kiki Jiki Reflection here. Pretty weird to consider playing board control against a Jeskai control deck, but okay, they didn't play a land that turn. I'm just gonna say go. I mean, this like never-ending 2 every turn will eventually win me the game if they have nothing else to do. Okay, Expressive Iteration's a pretty good card. If they did have nothing, they're going to have something now. So, I mean, maybe we should have resolved Showdown with Skulls before now. It's like you're gonna play that as a land? Oh, my gosh. Rim Carolus was actually saving us. Was saving our Elite Spellbinder last game. When I was confused, it was the Rim that was saving our card. That's actually pretty neat. Getting this down, getting 2 Vortexes down here is backbreaking. Because our opponent's going to go to 6 right here. This feels like we're in a pretty good position. I didn't play a land. We're going to try and put a counter on our Rim here. Our opponent's only had 2 blue sources all game. That's interesting. Probably made their hand incredibly awkward, to be fair. Like, honestly, like, it's probably the reason that they're not doing very well this game. It feels like they've had a very, very awkward land draw, so... Okay. Okay. No, I mean, that's fine. And now we have 3 activations at the ready. We've only seen 2 less cards than our Jeskai control opponent. Has Ward 4 as long as it's untapped. When it does combat damage to a player, draw a card. Then if you have fewer than 3 cards in your hand, draw cards equal to the difference. Alright, well, our opponent conceded before I could read that. But that felt like one of those games where we were in the driver's seat kind of the whole time, honestly. Yeah, let's play one more. I'm kind of enjoying this. Having a pretty good time playing this. So play another game with the old standard burn deck and see what happens here. Arakan. Our opponent's gold something higher than us. There's 13 white sources in our deck. Or I'm sorry, there's 4, 8, 11 white sources in our deck. We don't need one for quite some time. So, I mean, I don't know. This seems fine to try this. Like our hand is perfectly playable without a white source. Now, granted, I did like the idea of having the Like throwing the Thermal Alchemist was really good. Okay, we're gonna play this. This looks like mono black aggro. I didn't really know that was a thing in standard right now. Okay. Nope, no blocks. I'm gonna take this turn to go ahead and sweep up the board a little bit. Do some damage to our opponent. It might have been better just to play the Royal Eruption and then hold up to play with fire and make them have a little bit of instant speed action here. Like, make them do something. I'll just say go. Having to play with fire makes this okay because we can interact at instant speed if we need to. Now, drawing a white, like we've gotten pretty lucky so far drawing like only red cards. Whenever you attack, well, let's attack and see what happens here. Yep. Auto pay ward 1. And then pass. I mean, like, I know that we're out of like all our red only cards here, but we're in a pretty decent spot. We have good board presence. Like, if our opponent wants to play this with the blitz costs, they have to go to 10 to do so.
Hope you're ready for some mind games.
Kaito Shizuki is so good. Like, that's a really good card in my opinion. Really well designed, like... Ah, it phases out. Is that really what it says? Ah, so it protects itself for a turn. That's pretty neat. Okay, doing that up front means that you're probably not planning on playing the blitz cost here. If you want to play another removal spell in response here, wow, okay. Man. Put that on the bottom. Put our opponent to 4, they go to 2 here. Actually go to 1. I don't know what I miscounted there for them to go to 1, but I'm not gonna... Oh, the Thermal Alchemist trigger was on the stack. So the Spike Field Hazard actually won the game there. Alright, cool. Works for me. They're playing Esper something. I have no idea what. Feels like Spellbinder looks pretty good. I don't know if Chandra's going to be good on the draw, honestly. Like, on the draw, I'm worried that it might not be. I think we might... Try a couple of the Kami's Flare. Extra removal and just see what happens here. I'm willing to try this hand. Instead of cutting the... Yeah, instead of cutting the Spikefield Hazards, maybe should have cut the Falconwrath Pit Fighter. I'm actually okay making this trade. Like, if my opponent's just okay with saying, like, yeah, you can, like, trading the Luminarch Aspirant for that, that's cool. Worst case scenario for me is that they have another Luminarch Aspirant here, and we're just kind of in a tough spot. Because I get to make this a 4/4 now. I'm going to say no blocks. Alright, I'm actually just going to hold on to the double Play with Fire here because, I mean, drawing Play with Fire there was really good because it allows us to instant speed, let them choose, like, try to put counters on something, and then we can just... Okay. Yep, we'll take 4. Let's see what our opponent does here. So... I think I'm just going to put that on the bottom. So we're just going to play board control here. Now, we don't have any modified creatures, so unfortunately it's not like a mini Searing Blaze, but it does end up being pretty good. It's still just an extra removal spell there. I'll exile this. Oh, no. I'll make a guy. Interesting. Interesting choice. Most people just go for the minus to gain 2 life there. I wonder why they chose to make a guy there. It's not saying it's wrong. I'm just curious. Vanishing Verse, okay. Well, we'll run this out and say go. We'll play the game here. I was like, I'm curious to know if they actually have something to kill this with, or if it's like a...
You fight for me now.
Let's see what that last card is. Well, we'll make that cost 2 more. That seems good. Now, we're in a pretty bad spot here. This doesn't feel very good. Oh boy, and these things both connive? Well, I mean, it doesn't really matter. They have no cards in their hand.
Show them how we greet our enemies.
Alright, let's see what we can make happen here. I mean, probably nothing, like, given the situation here. But we're going to see what we can do. Yeah, Sacred Fire is just not going to cut it. Okay. This would be like a good match for like a Lava Coil. You know, that kind of effect would be really good here. I think I like the idea of having the rolling vortexes. Nope, not the Kami's Flare. One Dress to Kill here. I kind of think Dress to Kill will be pretty solid here on the play. Yeah, play first. Yeah, I think this hand's good. I mean, again, we're missing white mana here, but I don't really know what to do about that. This hand is really solid, and it'll be a few turns before we're really feeling the pain of not having white lands. So we have quite a few chances here to to find our second color. We'll just say go here. Okay. Well, we're probably better off just playing this and saying go, holding up the life gain effect, because, I mean, that's good, but it's not really doing anything at the current moment. Right now it's just a 1/4. And I guess he gets to see an extra card here, which is fine. He discards a Meathook Massacre. Okay. We go to 17. Untap these. Interesting. Spell Pierce. That's a spicy meatball. So we're basically taking 6 here, going to 11. Yeah, if we draw a white land, we're in decent shape. We have to draw an untapped white source here, but to be fair, all of our white sources from here are untapped, so... Yeah, I'm actually going to take 7. I don't know how I counted 6. Well,
You know what's great at dispelling darkness? A blazing inferno. You're lucky this is a warning shot.
we at least get to make our opponents choose here what they want to do. Okay. They're coming into us, so I mean... The odds of them not having a removal spell here are pretty low. They're discarding a wedding announcement. That's interesting. Okay. Six. So a white land still wins the game here. Actually, ironically. Let's hope they don't have another Spell Pierce. I mean, if they have a Negate or a Spell Pierce or something here, the game's kind of over on the spot. But, yeah, that's unfortunate. That's one of the upsides of them playing blue. So, they take 3, go to 3, and then take 2, go to 1, and then this kills them. And then we die? Yep. Yep. Yeah, a lot of people play that Esper mid-range deck. It's very popular. I see it get played a lot, so the negate there was just kind of the icing on the cake at the end of the game there. I mean, to be fair, like, it was really good. We put ourselves in a position, like, we gave ourselves the best chance we could to win the game there, so 2-2 is not bad for something I just kind of threw together. Den of the Bugbear, while I think is a good land, never really saw any value there. We just saw it eat a removal spell the one time it was played. In the Festivities was surprisingly good. You could probably talk me into cutting a mountain, cutting 2 Lorehold commands, and playing 3 of those, honestly. Playing 4 of those. I mean, I'm not saying that's exactly how I want to go, but it seems not bad. Chandra is a great Planeswalker, but we saw Chandra didn't really do a lot there, so it was pretty medium. So Elite Spellbinder had some really good turns. Rip Apart pretty much kept us in the game against the Bard game, and Kami's Flare is really good. I think it's better in a deck where you're trying to play like Luminarch Aspirant and and just a lot of things like that. So I don't know. Deck did pretty well overall.